listed my study. So I published a study on 21,000 people showing we could separate post-traumatic stress disorder from traumatic brain injury with high levels of accuracy. And then we repeated the study on soldiers and showed the same thing. And this year, I just published the world's largest study on childhood trauma. So do you know the ACE score?
Yes, which is a measure of childhood trauma.
Childhood trauma, adverse childhood experiences. So it's on a scale of 0 to 10. How many bad things happened to you as a child? Physical, emotional, sexual abuse, neglect, being raised with a parent that has a mental illness, that's incarcerated, addiction, watching your mother be abused. So domestic violence. So 0 to 10. I'm a 1. My wife's an 8. We adopted our 2 nieces who are both 9s. And so I'm very interested in childhood trauma.
So, sorry, a 9 is good or bad?
9 is terrible.
Okay, so higher the number,
So
more the
0 is means you have none of those.
Okay.
8, you have a lot. And if you have 4 or more, you have an increased risk of 7 of the top 10 leading causes of death. If you have 6 or more, so my wife's an 8, my nieces are 9s, you die 20 years earlier than the general population. And in our study, what we showed, the more ACEs you had, the more activation of your limbic structures, especially a very interesting area called the anterior cingulate gyrus. I think of this as the brain's gear shifter. It lets you go from thought to thought, move from idea to idea, be flexible, go with the flow. And when this is overactive, people worry. They hold on to things. It's like the trauma is always in front of them. And I often do timeline. I ask people, do you see your life going from left to right or from front to back? And I see the past behind me. My wife sees the past in front of her. And that's often what you see with trauma. And their brain becomes overactive in their emotional brain, which makes them at higher risk for pain syndromes,